Have you ever felt like a walking contradiction? Like you can feel the emotions of a room the moment you walk in, yet you crave complete solitude to recharge? Or maybe you have a small, fiercely loyal circle of friends, but feel like a stranger in a crowd. What if I told you these feelings aren't just quirks, but the signature traits of the rarest personality type on Earth? Making up less than 1% of the population, the INFJ is often called the advocate or the counselor. They are complex, intuitive, and often feel deeply misunderstood. In this video, we're going to dive into the 8 unseen habits of this enigmatic personality. As we go through the list, you might find yourself nodding along, or you might finally understand that quiet, observant friend you've always been curious about. And be sure to stay until the end, because the last point is a habit that often makes them feel incredibly alone, but is actually their greatest hidden strength. Let's begin. Number 8, the emotional sponge effect. Have you ever been around someone who seems to just know how you're feeling, even before you do? That's the INFJ. They don't just listen to your problems, they absorb them. This isn't a psychic power, it's a psychological trait known as high empathy, driven by a function called extrovert feeling. Think of it like having a highly sensitive emotional radar. When they enter a room, they're not just seeing people, they're scanning the emotional atmosphere. They notice the subtle shift in your tone, the flicker of disappointment in your eyes, the tension in your shoulders that you're trying to hide. For them, emotions are tangible things, like objects in a room. Here's a real-life example. Imagine you're at work, pretending everything is fine after receiving some disappointing news. You're smiling, making small talk. An INFJ colleague might pull you aside later and gently ask, "Hey, you seem a little off today. Is everything okay with the project you were worried about?" They've connected the dots between your past worries and your present mood in a way that feels almost like mind reading. The downside? This makes crowded places and emotionally charged situations incredibly draining for them. They absorb so much that they need to retreat to wring out all the feelings they've soaked up. Number 7, all or nothing friendships. An INFJ's social life is a perfect example of quality over quantity. They don't have a wide circle of acquaintances. Instead, they have a small, carefully chosen inner circle of people with whom they share a deep, almost sacred bond. For an INFJ, a friendship isn't about casual hangouts or surface-level chats, it's about a profound connection of mind and soul. The psychology here is a combination of their introversion and their deep-seated values. Their introverted nature means social energy is a precious resource, so they invest it wisely. Their feeling and judging functions mean they are looking for authenticity and loyalty. They would rather have one conversation that lasts for hours about life, dreams, and fears than attend a dozen parties filled with small talk. Think about a time you met someone new. For many, the goal is to be pleasant and make a good impression. For an INFJ, the goal is to figure out if there's a potential for a real connection. They are subconsciously asking, "Can I trust this person? Do we share core values? Can I be my true self with them?" If the answer is no, they'll be perfectly polite, but they won't invest. If the answer is yes, they will invest everything. This is why their friendships are so incredibly strong, but also why it takes them so long to build them. Number 6, the uncanny future forecaster. This is one of the more mysterious INFJ traits. They often have strong gut feelings or premonitions about how a situation will unfold. They might warn a friend against a new job that looks perfect on paper, or have a sudden, unexplainable feeling that a certain plan is going to go wrong. And more often than not, they're right. This isn't magic, it's their dominant cognitive function, introverted intuition. Think of their brain as a massive, subconscious supercomputer constantly collecting data, past experiences, patterns of behavior, subtle cues, and abstract concepts. Their intuition connects all these dots in the background and presents the final conclusion as a gut feeling. They often can't explain how they know something, they just know dash. For example, an INFJ might meet their friend's new partner and feel an immediate, quiet sense of unease. The person is charming, funny, and everyone else loves them. The INFJ can't point to anything specific, but they might later say, "I just have a bad feeling." Be careful. 6 months later, the friend discovers the partner was being dishonest. The INFJ had unconsciously picked up on micro inconsistencies in their stories and body language that no one else noticed. This ability to see the long-term pattern is a gift, but it can also be isolating when they can't logically explain their insights to others. Number 5. The infamous doorslam. This is perhaps the most shocking and misunderstood INFJ habit. An INFJ can be the most loyal, forgiving, and dedicated person you know. They will give you second, third, and fourth chances. But when they have been pushed too far, when a core value has been repeatedly violated, or when they realize a relationship is toxic beyond repair, they will perform what's known as the INFJ doorslam. This isn't a dramatic, angry outburst. It's a quiet, cold, and decisive act of cutting someone out of their life completely. One day they are there, the next they are gone. The texts go unanswered, the calls are ignored, and for all intents and purposes, they have vanished from that person's life. The psychology behind this is self-preservation. Because they feel things so deeply and give so much in their relationships, continued betrayal or toxicity is not just hurtful, it's destructive to their very sense of self. The doorslam is the final, desperate act of a person trying to protect their own well-being. It's the emergency exit. It's a painful decision for the INFJ, often preceded by months or even years of internal turmoil. But once the door is slammed, it is almost always locked for good. Number 4. The social chameleon. It's a strange paradox. For a personality type that is so deeply introverted, INFJs can be surprisingly skilled in social situations. They can blend into almost any group, mirroring the energy and communication style of those around them. They can be the thoughtful intellectual in a book club, the witty joker at a dinner party, or the compassionate listener at a family gathering. This is their extrovert feeling in action again. It allows them to read the social script of a situation and play their part beautifully. They want to create harmony and make others feel comfortable. So, they adapt. They become what the situation needs them to be. Imagine an INFJ who hates loud parties. A close friend is having a big birthday bash, so they go. For the first hour, they might seem like the most outgoing person there, laughing, engaging in conversations, and making sure everyone is having a good time. They are a perfect social chameleon. But what you don't see is that their social battery is draining at an alarming rate. After that hour, they will likely find a quiet corner, or slip out unnoticed. They will then need a full day, or even 2, of complete solitude to recover from the performance. This ability makes them adaptable, but also makes them feel like they're never truly showing their real selves. Number 3. The perfectionist's paralysis. INFJs are visionaries. Their minds are filled with incredible, complex, and idealized versions of what could be. Whether it's a creative project, a career path, or even just how a perfect relationship should function, their vision is often breathtakingly detailed and beautiful. But this is a double-edged sword. The habit is this: they get trapped by their own perfectionism. The gap between their flawless internal vision and the messy, imperfect reality of starting something can be so vast that it leads to paralysis. They are so afraid of not doing their vision justice that they end up doing nothing at all. The psychology is a clash between their intuition and their more critical, analytical side. Their intuition provides the grand, perfect idea. But then their analytical mind kicks in and sees the 1,000 tiny, imperfect steps required to get there. It sees all the ways it could go wrong. Think of an INFJ who wants to write a book. They might spend months, even years, world building, creating character backstories, and plotting every single twist. The internal world is perfect. But the thought of writing that first, clumsy sentence feels like a betrayal of the masterpiece in their head. So the blank page remains blank. Number 2, the tireless counselor who needs a counselor. If you have an INFJ in your life, you know they are the person you call at 2 a.m. when your world is falling apart. They will listen patiently, offer profound insights, and make you feel seen and understood. They have a natural gift for guiding others through their emotional darkness. They are the quintessential counselor, advocate, and confidant. The unseen habit, however, is that they are terrible at applying this wisdom to themselves. They pour so much energy into healing and supporting others that their own cup becomes completely empty. Their focus is so externally directed toward the harmony of the group and the well-being of their loved ones that they neglect their own needs. Imagine an INFJ who has spent a whole week helping a friend navigate a difficult breakup, offering advice and a shoulder to cry on. At the same time, the INFJ is dealing with immense stress from their own job. But will they reach out for help? Rarely. They often feel like their problems are a burden to others, or they rationalize that their friend's pain is more immediate or important. This selfless dedication is what makes them so cherished, but it's also their path to burnout. They are the lighthouse, guiding ships to safety, while often standing alone in the storm. And finally, the number 1 unseen habit, the one that defines their entire existence. Number 1, the lifelong quest for deeper meaning. For an INFJ, life is not about just living, it's about understanding. They are driven by an insatiable need to find the deeper meaning in everything. A job can't just be a job, it has to have a purpose. A relationship can't just be for fun, it has to be a journey of mutual growth. They are constantly asking why. Superficiality is physically uncomfortable for them. Small talk about the weather or office gossip feels like a waste of breath. They want to know what you believe in, what you're afraid of, what makes you feel alive. They are constantly searching for the underlying patterns, the universal truths, and the ultimate purpose of it all. This is the culmination of all their traits. Their intuition seeks the patterns, their feeling seeks the connection, and their introverted nature gives them the space to process it all. This is why you might find INFJs drawn to fields like psychology, art, spirituality, or humanitarian work. They need to feel like they are contributing to something bigger than themselves. This quest is what makes them feel so different from the world around them, a world that often prioritizes the practical over the profound. It can be a lonely path. But it is also their greatest superpower. It's what allows them to create incredible art, to pioneer new ideas, and to connect with people on a level that few can ever experience. They remind us that there is more to life than what we see on the surface. So, there you have it. The 8 unseen habits of the world's rarest personality type. From being an emotional sponge to their all-or-nothing friendships and their lifelong search for meaning, the INFJ is a fascinating tapestry of contradictions. Remember, this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not a substitute for professional advice. These personality types are just a fun framework for understanding ourselves and others better. Now, I have a question for you. Whether you think you might be an INFJ or you know someone who is, which one of these habits resonated with you the most? Was it the uncanny gut feelings, the social chameleon, or the infamous doorslam? Share your story in the comments below. Let's start a conversation and learn from each other.